everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie, and I guess I'm doing booktube now. I apologize in advance for all the dog sounds. I have 2 dogs, and there's just literally no way I can do anything without them coming over to me or like making noise or something. So it's just gonna be a thing, especially right now because it's 11:18, so it's kind of the morning, and they're still kind of active. So you might see my dogs at a bunch of points through the video. Anyway, I literally just learned that library book sales were a thing. I don't know how I've gotten so far in my life without realizing this. I've been reading for fun, I would say probably since college. So in high school, I didn't really read for fun. I guess I didn't really have time or the desire because we had so much assigned stuff. But after high school, I started reading some stuff for fun, and I've been continuing ever since. For some perspective, I am 34 years old, so it's been kind of a while. Anyway, the other week, my husband and I were driving down a main street, and he was like, hey, there's a book sale, library book sale. Do you like books? Do you want to stop? And I was like, okay, sure. So we stopped, and I took way too long looking around as usual, because I took a really long time looking around. But let me show you what I got at that first book sale. Oh, and I'm literally just gonna show these because there are so many books. I literally don't have time to like talk about every single book or why I bought it or whatever, but a lot of these were like already on my wish list to read, but I never wanted to spend like the full amount on the book. I'm gonna make an entirely separate video of how I decide what to spend on a book. But if people have any questions of any like specific book, leave it in the comments, and maybe I'll like make a separate video on those books after I read them. Some of these I've read, most of these I haven't had the chance to read yet. This is the total from 3 different book sales. So like I said, my husband and I, we stopped at one, and then I was like, wow, that was fun. I want to go to more book sales. And then I went online and I found some more book sales. So keep in mind, I have here like over 90 books. I think the total that I spent on these 90 was like $130. So pretty much every softcover book I have was like 50 cents to $1. And then every hardback book that I have was $1 to $2. So I don't remember exactly what I spent at each place, but anyway, this one doesn't really count, but this is Mercy by Jodi Picoult. I don't know if I'm saying her name right or if it's like Pico, if she's French, but anyway. This one doesn't exactly count because I got it literally like at the library the other day. I just saw this and I bought it. So this wasn't like at an event, but it was still a library book sale. Change of Heart by Jodi Picoult. So she is my favorite author, but she has so many books, so I haven't read all of them. I've read a fair number of her books, and I should probably just make an entire video on just her books. But this is one I haven't read, so I picked that up. What the Dog Saw by Malcolm Gladwell. I like Malcolm Gladwell, and I've read some of his other books, and I want to read all of them. I really should stop explaining because I'm gonna run out of time. Al Capone Does My Shirts. This is a young adult novel. I had to read it for school once in college, and I just want to give it another read because I remember it being kind of interesting. The Song of Achilles, self-explanatory. In the Yucatan. So just for some perspective, I'm interested in a lot of nonfiction, especially when it comes to like social justice and human rights, but I am trying to force myself to buy more fiction because I get so overwhelmed just reading like nonfiction book after nonfiction book, and it gets like kind of depressing. So I'm trying to force myself to buy some like nonfiction, or to buy some fiction, especially lighter fiction, because sometimes even when I buy fiction, it's still a heavy topic. So just keep that in mind. That's why I have so many nonfiction books, but also why it just seems like a really eclectic mix of books. Make Poverty Personal, Taking the Poor as Seriously as the Bible Does. Filthy Rich, a novel. This is, like I said, something that I'm forcing myself to get. Islam, Religion, History, and Civilization. Like I said, I like nonfiction, helps me understand things better. The Billionaire's Vinegar. I read the back of this and it sounded super cool. Most of these, like I said, have been on my reading list at some point, but a couple of them I just picked up because I read the back of the book at the book sale and I thought it sounded super interesting. This Land is Their Land. I have another book by this author that I haven't read yet called Nickeled and Dimed, basically about how people struggle to get by in the United States. And then I found these. I really like languages, and this is Arabic, both of these are, and this is $1 and this was like 50 cents, so I can't really say, like, it's worth a try, right? So that was the first book sale. And then I went to 2 more. I don't remember what I got at the next 2, like which was at which book sale. They were both the same weekend. I went one on Friday night, and then I went back Saturday morning with a friend, and then I went to another book sale later on that Saturday. So I got a ton of book shopping that day. I don't even know where I'm gonna put these down after I like show them to you. I guess over here, because these ones are over here and I'm not gonna fit more. Anyway, Black Death at the Golden Gate, The Race to Save America from the Bubonic Plague. I believe this is nonfiction. The Swallows of Kabul. So again, just trying to educate myself on, like, especially the Middle East and things like that. Black Klansman, I want to watch it, but I like to read things first. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. This is going to be one of the ones that I read like sooner rather than later. I tried to categorize these books as to like ones I want to read first and ones I want to read later. This one I ordered on Amazon. That one doesn't count. The Number One Ladies Detective Agency. So this is something that I forced myself to pick up. A, because it looked short, it's like just a little over 200 pages, and B, because it looks like a light-hearted fiction book. I got like 5 of these. There's a series of like 11. I picked up 5 of them. They're somewhere else in my pile, so hopefully I enjoy these because I got 5 of them. The Final Solution, no idea what this is about, but it looked small and interesting. The Disappearing Spoon, this was in the young adult section. I know that there's an adult version of this book, which is also on my list of things that I want to get on Amazon, so yeah. This is called The Removed. Don't know what it's about, but I read the summary and it sounded interesting. Heartland, a memoir of working hard and being broke in the richest country on earth. This was actually in my reading list. Bad Days in History. This was also on my wish list. So when I got home from these book sales, I just went on my Amazon wish list and just deleted a whole bunch of stuff that I had been just like chilling out in my cart. Not in my cart, on my wish list. Yeah. They Both Die at the End, which is a popular TikTok book. I think it's young adult. I'll probably be able to read it very fast, so I should probably move this up my list. A lot of I struggle with like booktube, not that I'm a real booktuber yet, is that people want to hear about more contemporary popular books like this, and I just haven't been reading the contemporary popular books, so I figure I pick that up and maybe I can like be cool. Behold the Dreamers, 1,000 Splendid Suns, Reading Lolita in Tehran, Same Kind of Different as Me. It says soon to be a major motion picture. I don't know if this is old or new. So maybe if the movie already exists. Oh yeah, it must already exist because this book is 2006. So I can probably find the movie after I read the book and then watch it, which is what I like to do. Where the Crawdads Sing is supposed to be really popular and really good. So again, this will probably be one of the ones that I move up my reading list and read sooner than later because people like to hear about the popular things. What's the Matter with Kansas? How Conservatives Won the Heart of America. I have a friend who lives in Kansas and I'm going to read it and then loan it to him. This was on my list, but literally not worth spending $20 on in my opinion. So I got for $2 at a book sale. Banker to the Poor, Microlending in the Battle Against World Poverty. So you should watch my video about Kiva loans, and that will give you some more detail on this and why I picked up that particular book. The Right to Privacy by Ellen Alderman and Caroline Kennedy. This goes over a bunch of different court cases I am not a lawyer. I didn't go to law school, but I find that stuff fascinating. My dogs are playing now, so you might hear them like jingling around back there. The Bookseller of Kabul. Oh, this is part of the book that I showed you. The ladies' #1 detective agency. So this is book number 2 called Tears of the Giraffe. Luckiest Girl Alive. I think this is like a popular current book, so may move this up my list. A History of God. This was actually on my wish list on Amazon, and this is gonna be something that takes me a really long time to read, I think. Sorry, my dogs are so loud. Doggies! But I really like learning different perspectives about different religions. I just find it, I don't even know the word. It's like more than interesting. It's just very informative to understand why different people think and believe different things. And yeah, so that's there. Hollow City, Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children, the second book. I read the first book. I had gotten the first book at a used bookstore a while ago. I liked it, and this fits into my whole I want to read more light-hearted type of fiction. Esperanza Rising. This is a young adult book. Probably middle grades, actually. This is middle grades book. Will be really easy for me to read. David and Goliath, Malcolm Gladwell. Again, I've read some of his other books. The Book Thief. I've heard that this is good. I think it's about the Holocaust. I'm not completely sure. Yeah, it is. And Invisible Thread. I saw this once at Barnes & Noble, read the back of it, thought it was interesting. Didn't feel like buying it that day. And then I saw it at the bookstores. At the book sale. So I picked it up. The Distance Between Us. This is about, I think, like Mexican to American immigration. Children Under Fire, An American Crisis. This is a newer book, and it is about gun control issues in the United States. Upton Sinclair, The Jungle. Obviously, this is kind of like a classic. I think I read this in college, honestly, but it's been a long time, so I might want to take another look at that. Here's my other dog. I also picked this up, so I showed you the Arabic one before, and then this is a French Rosetta Stone. I mean, it was literally $2. Like, how can you go wrong? The only thing I realized is I don't have like a CD drive on my laptop, so I'm gonna have to get like an external one and plug it in, but those are like fairly affordable, I believe. Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. That is not one of the ones that I've read so far. The Tipping Point is one that I read in college, and one of the reasons that I really like Malcolm Gladwell, I like this book. So I wanted to grab a copy of it and maybe read it again. Why We're Polarized by Ezra Klein. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Little Bee. Don't know what this is. It sounded interesting. The Alchemist. It's supposed to be one of the most read books of all time, and it's pretty like short. So yeah, I'm gonna actually move that up my reading list. A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier. The Cellist of Sarajevo. This sounds like a really interesting memoir type of book, so we got that. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I don't believe I have ever read this. The Things They Carried. This is about, which war? The Vietnam War. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I feel like this was really popular a couple years ago, and at that time I had actually taken it out of the library to read, and I like didn't read it. It was like a 7-day rental, and I like didn't read it in the time period, and I had to return it without reading it. So I know I said I wasn't gonna explain all of these books. I'm really sorry. Okay, Stamped. So this is like the young adult version. There's an adult, a young adult, a middle grades, and like a preschool version of this book, I believe. This is the young adult version, and I feel like this is gonna be easier for me to read. I probably will also read the adult version at some point, but right now I'm not looking for so many super heavy books. As I pick this up, The Lizard Cage. It's about people who were imprisoned in a Burmese political camp. Oh, this is what I ordered online. That one doesn't count. Keeping Faith by Jodi Picoult. I think this is one of the ones that I haven't read of hers, so I picked it up. A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know how I've made it this far in life without reading this, and this is literally, like, I'm gonna read this so quickly. Massive, it's a young adult book. Letters to My Palestinian Neighbor, I have read this one already. Between the World and Me, I've also read this one. How Wars End, Why We Always Fight the Last Battle, A History of American Intervention from World War I to Afghanistan. I think I'm probably just gonna read this one in like oh no, they're all falling. I've like made 2 huge stacks here and they're all falling. I think I'm just gonna read this one in chapters. Instead of reading the whole book, I'm gonna read about one war and then put a bookmark in it and then go back to it and read another war another time. I don't know how I'm gonna reach my other books with these all falling over. Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. I am very introverted. Me and White Supremacy. Admission. Oh, here's the rest of, here's 2 more of that series that I picked up. Morality for Beautiful Girls and the Kalahari Typing School for Men. So hopefully I like this series because I picked a few of them. The Sun Does Shine. The Places in Between. This is about a man who walked across Afghanistan, I believe. Under the Banner of Heaven. This has been on my to-read list for a while. I think cults are really interesting, so I picked that up. A Hope in the Unseen. This is very, like, something that I would read. An American Odyssey from the Inner City to the Ivy League. Still Alice. I think this was popular years ago, but I'll hopefully be giving it a read now. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I started reading this once at like my sister-in-law's house when I was bored, and they were like playing a game, and I don't really enjoy board games. So I guess I'll finish it on my own. Things Fall Apart. I have not read this. I believe it's considered like a modern classic. So looking forward to that one. Station 11. Post-apocalyptic is also another type of book that I like besides, you know, realistic fiction. I would say probably realistic fiction and post-apocalyptic. I'm almost done with this video. I would say realistic fiction and post-apocalyptic are my favorite genres. So hopefully I can get into different kinds of books. David and Goliath, literally, okay. I got so many books, and this is the first duplicate that I've gotten. So I didn't do bad. Burmese Days by George Orwell. This is more of like a memoir of his, and I really like 1984, so I picked that up. Just Mercy, I believe this is also like popular this year. I have never read these books, I don't believe. So it's Night, Dawn, I don't even know how to say his name. I feel really bad. Anyway, it's the trilogy. Normal People by Sally Rooney. So everyone on BookTube seems to really like Sally Rooney. Based on people's descriptions of her book, I don't know that I'm gonna be a big fan of her, to be honest. So I didn't want to like buy a book for regular price, so I picked this up at a book sale, and we'll see, maybe I will like her. Okay, this was just something silly that I got because I have family who has cottages around Eagle Lake in Maine, and so it was literally like 50 cents, and I figured I might give it to someone if someone wants it. The Nazis Next Door, How America Became a Safe Haven for Hitler's Men. The Kite Runner, I didn't get this also, did I? I think I got another book by him. I'm pretty certain it was a different book by him. No Longer... Willow. Hey. No Longer a Slumdog, Bringing Hope to Children in Crisis. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one, if it's going to be like white savior-ish or not. The Taliban, just like a history. Americana, I've heard that this is good and popular. And low-key, I think I like accidentally took this from somebody's pile. So at book sales, which I did, so the first one I went to was a very, very small one, like on the side of the street. And then when I found one to go to the next weekend, there were so many book dealers, and I didn't really like know or expect that was gonna happen. And so they were just like going through all the books and like scanning them and price checking them, and then they were like making piles of all the books that they wanted. And I think that they were trying to start a pile with this, and then they like came back over and they were kind of looking for it, I think, but they had walked away. So like, what went wrong? The clash between Islam and modernity in the Middle East. You know, outliers. Outliers. This is one of the Malcolm Gladwell books that I have read before and I liked. So wanted to grab a copy of it because it was a long time ago. And now I think I have the full collection of his books. Only a couple more. Stay with me. These are the ones that I got for my husband. So this is Kurt Vonnegut, A Man Without a Country. I don't know if this is like a memoir or short stories, but he's trying to read all of the Kurt Vonnegut books that have ever been written. So I thought he might enjoy that. Kurt Vonnegut, Welcome to the Monkey House. I think this one is short stories. Dubliners by James Joyce. Something he might like. Brave New World, because he has never read it. And also 1984, because he has never read it. And this is like one of my favorite books. So I wanted him to also read it. And I think he'll like it. So that was my massive book haul. I know I'm doing so many hauls. I will do like wrap-ups and book reviews, but since I'm like just getting started on BookTube, I just want to show a lot of what I have. I also have an incredibly disorganized bookshelf, so I won't be showing that to you right now, but I will in the future. And I think I am going to go to another book sale this weekend, so you might see more from me. Anyway, please let me know if you have any questions on any books. Definitely please give this a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, because I will be doing some more BookTube videos, and like I'll be doing stuff other than just hauls. And let me know if you have questions on any of the books.